Hello students and welcome back to one more session of International Financial Management. So in our last class we have dealt about direct and indirect codes. So today we'll proceed with the next part, that is exchange rate determination. Okay, I told you that exchange rate is determined. There is an exchange rate based on the value. So how is it determined is based on the demand and supply of the currency. The demand of the currency means the amount, you can say the quantity of currency demanded because of increase in international trade, international cash flows, uh, uh, because of tourism, unilateral transfers, and so on. So based on what is the demand for the currency and how much that currency is supplied, an exchange rate is determined similar to normal products, goods and services. So we'll go into detail. So we have discussed this before. So just a brief recap. What is a foreign exchange? A rate at which one currency is expressed in another currency. It is a reflection of external value of the domestic currency. Exchange rate is never constant. It is always going up and down based on the demand and supply. So if the demand is more and supply is less, the exchange rate shifts upwards. On the other way, when demand goes down, the rate will come down. Not only based on demand, even if there is a crisis or some situation in that home country, it will reflect on the exchange rate of that currency. Now, what are the factors which determine exchange rate? Exchange rate can be determined by these factors, that is the interest rate difference between two countries, the inflation rate difference, balance of payment position, government intervention, market expectation, overseas investment and speculation. So what is interest rate differential? Say for example, we take two countries, country A and country B. So assume that the interest rate in country A is 10%. When I say interest rate, it is interest on loans or interest on deposit. So interest rate means the bank interest rate. So say for example, in country A, the loans are available are at 10% interest rate. On the other hand, in country B, the interest rate is 12%. Now, you as an businessman, which country will you borrow from? So obviously from country A, because the interest rate on loan in that country is less. So you are going to borrow money from country A, and thereby uh, the demand of that currency will increase. So there will be an increase in exchange rate. Similarly, if you talk about deposit rates, okay, so interest on deposit in country A it is 6% and in country B it is 8%. So normally if I'm having extra funds, I will go and invest in country B. So there will be huge flow of cash in country B, which will have an impact on its exchange rate. Okay, so interest rate, whichever is less in case of loan, that country's demand for currency will increase and it will have an repercussion on its uh, currency value. The next important determinant is inflation rate. Now, inflation is nothing but uh, the percentage increase or decrease in prices. So, inflation in simple sense means what if you call it in Hindi, we call it as mehengai, or you know, bele erike in Kannada, something like that. So inflation means the price, percentage price rise in commodities. So say for example, when you talk about international trade, we talk about exports and imports. In country A, the inflation rate is going down, means there is deflation, or the price of commodities is less. In country B, there is high inflation and so the commodity prices are high. So if I am from country B, instead of buying from my home country, I will buy from another country which is having a lesser rate. So imports of that country will increase. So when you are importing means you are paying foreign exchange. So country A's foreign exchange demand will increase because more and more people are buying in that country because its price of products have decreased. So the price of that exchange of that currency will increase. So inflation means the difference in prices. So whichever country's prices of commodities is less, that country's currency value or exchange rate will definitely increase, and vice versa. Next is balance of payment position. So balance of payment means the uh, total inflows and outflows of cash between one country and rest of the world in terms of trade, in terms of financial cash flows, in terms of unilateral transfers, and so on. So if a country is having adverse balance of situation, means it is having more of outflows than inflows of money. So at that time, when there is an adverse balance of payment or a deficit balance of trade, the value of the that country's currency will be depreciated because the country's position is not so sound. So financially, the country, when the balance of payment position is adverse, it will have a negative impact on the financial position. Say for example, if you talk about an individual, if he is spending more or is having more of liabilities than assets, so normally no one will try to have contact business relations, or you will not get a loan. Similarly, if there is an adverse balance of position, it will reflect the financial position of that country, and so the currency value of that country will be depreciated. Next important determinant of foreign exchange rate is government intervention. So government intervention means the policies of the government undertaken so that the imports are restricted, or restricting MNCs from transferring huge funds from that country to its home country. So many a times government intervenes and controls the flow of cash outside the country, and it also bans some of the imports. So this will definitely have an impact on the foreign exchange rate. So if there is a restrictive intervention, the foreign exchange rate will be hampered. On the other hand, if there is uh, developmental, or you can say uh, trade boosting type of an initiative, then it will have a positive effect on the foreign exchange rate. Then overseas investment. Overseas investment means when one country is trying to increase its investment outside more. So when say for if people from India are investing in another country, that time the currency, the country in which they are trying to invest, the demand for that currency will increase, and so its rate will increase. On the other hand, if many people are interested in India to invest in India, that time the value of Indian currency will definitely increase. The last one is speculation. Speculation means when huge banks, international banks, in view of future, say, changes in demand, investment, business, they try to hold or sell off their investment. So when there is a panic sale, we call it as speculation. Means we are speculating that something good may happen, so we are holding more and more money, or something bad is going to happen, so we'll sell out. So something like that. So when in future you are speculating something, you want to change the even if it is not happening at your home country, say in an international bank there is constant panic and they are selling off their gold, so that will definitely have an impact on international trade, on international cash flows and exchange rate of major currencies. So these are the determinants of foreign exchange. So next we'll see how do we measure exchange rate. Now why is measuring exchange rate important? So as an MNC doing business in more than one country, if there is constant change in the exchange rate of the currencies of the countries in which it is having subsidiaries, it will have an impact on the amount of cash inflows and outflows of that company. Say for example, uh, when there is a decline in exchange rate, it will affect on the amount of cash inflows received from exporting countries. Me say for example, you had a export order when the exchange rate was dollar 1 rupee is equals to 70 $1 is equals to 73 rupees, say for example. Then at the time of payment the exchange rate came down to 72 rupees. So what does this mean? Is it a profit or a loss? Yes, it is a loss, because if the payment would have been done when it was 73 rupees, you would have a profit of 1 rupee per dollar, but now you're going to get less. So this will, if there is a frequent rate movement in exchange rate, it will affect how much you have to pay and how much you have to receive. So when in such a case it from 73 went to 72 and you had to receive funds, so you will feel it is a loss. On the other hand, same situation, if you had to pay somebody, you would be very happy because the dollar rate came down. So exchange rate movements have an effect on the amount of inflow and outflow of cash during exports and imports. So that's the reason why we have to measure it. Then one more concept we'll learn here is currency depreciation and appreciation. So in a decline in the value of the currency is depreciation. So I give an example. It was $1 is 72 rupees, 73 rupees. It became 72 rupees. Means the dollar value has depreciated. So if dollar value has depreciated, it means rupee value has appreciated. So a decline in the currency value is called as depreciation, and increase in the currency value is called depreciation. So this percentage change we can find out by the formula S minus ST minus 1 divided by ST minus 1. Now what is S? S is the current spot exchange rate. Say for example, it is a current spot rate. Now I told you it was 73 a while ago or maybe a month ago, and today it is 72 rupees. I'm just taking an example. I'm not talking about today's rate. Okay. So today's rate is 72 rupees. So spot exchange rate S is 72. That is S is the current spot price. So today's price or the recent price of that currency is S. Then what is T minus 1? The spot rate at an earlier date, maybe a month ago, it was 73 rupees. Okay. So by using this formula, 72 minus 73 divided by 73, you will get a percentage appreciation or depreciation in the currency value. Now we can have difference between them. Okay, so I told you the first difference is depreciation is a decrease in the value of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency, and appreciation means an increase in the value. When there is currency depreciation, it makes domestic goods cheaper. Means when say rupee value decreases, our products become cheaper and thereby it boosts or increases exports. On the other hand, if there is appreciation in the domestic currency, that time our goods become costlier and it leads to increase in imports. Okay, so I given an example, say for example, dollar value is 75, it becoming 78 means $1 is 75, it became 78, means there is appreciation in the value of dollar. But when we talk about home currency, that is Indian rupee, it is 78, means Indian value is depreciated. Similarly, here the change from 78 to 74 means here rupee value has appreciated and dollar value has depreciated. So this is all about currency appreciation, depreciation, what are the determinants of exchange rate. In our next class, we'll move forward to the demand and supply of currency and equilibrium exchange rate. So that's all for today. I hope you have understood it. Please comment, like, subscribe to my channel so that you get further notifications. So that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.